Good morning. So I'm not Serafino Sorrenti. You saw that there has been a change in the program. And since I do not represent the Italian government in any possible way, of course, I cannot give you his presentation, which is a bit of a challenge for me and for you, in a way, because my presentation was supposed to link to his presentation, because he would have illustrated the Italian strategy and the Italian program in this important field, and I would have said what NQSTI, the National Quantum Science and Technology Institute, can do to implement this. So I trust you're going to be fast and quick to imagine what I'm referring to, and I'll try to help you in doing that. So we'll be talking about the National Quantum Science and Technology Institute. This is an entity, a consortium, that was created within the Renew EU, or Recovery Plan, if you prefer to call it that way, at the beginning of 2023. Italy launched an initiative to strengthen its competitiveness in the field of quantum science and technology, and our proposal was selected, and this consortium was born. So this consortium had a very has a very ambitious objective, and the essential points are listed there. Upgrade the Italian laboratories, avoiding duplication, so selecting the most effective ones and strengthening their infrastructure. Get rid of all the cryogenic liquids and modernize all the equipment. Hire new personnel. The idea would be to have new personnel, train this personnel within the consortium members, and make that competence ready for the Italian industries. Stimulate and coordinate research in all the different flavors of quantum science technology, with some important choices that I will share with you, and then favor transfer of this technology to from universities to companies. What technologies? Okay, here we had to make a choice, and we made a very specific choice, which is to include the whole range of quantum science and technology. This is in line with the program of at the national level. So do not limit the idea of quantum technology to the so-called second quantum revolution, but to keep it open to the whole range of the effects that can be gained in materials, systems, and architectures by taking advantage of the quantum properties of nature. We also have an important role, we believe, to stimulate this transfer of technology to companies, in particular Italian companies, and we'll talk about that a little bit in the following. So a very broad range. First of all, coordination of research. We have funded a number of research programs throughout the countries, in universities, in consortia between universities and companies, renewed, as I said before, the laboratories, expanded the knowledge of quantum throughout the society. It is very important. We believe that the concept of quantum reaches the general population. We have had in the past various problems when new concepts came up. I'm thinking of nano, I'm thinking of other aspects that were not welcomed by the general public, that was scared and didn't trust it. It's important we avoid a no quantum movement in the near future, so we try to work on that. We worked a lot on favoring the Italian participation to international programs. And we ourselves, as consortium, participated to international programs, a European program. This is something that is, I'm happy to say here in a general audience like this one, because we offer NQSTI as the interface to contact Italian groups in quantum. because essentially they're all within this NQSTI initiative, so that we represent the one-stop shop where you can find all the abilities there. And when we participate directly, a recent example was within the CHIPS Act, where we participated as Italian interface, and this made it possible to collect competence in different centers without multiplying and making the project too complicated. So that's something we intend to help and work on a lot. We helped the creation of new companies. Some of them are here, and you will have a chance to meet them, I believe, tomorrow. We have a program of funding these new companies, co-funding these new companies. And another aspect which is crucial for us, as you know, the Italian industrial system is often breaking down in relatively small or medium enterprises that do not have the lab capacity or the strength to carry out independent research in such a competitive field. Well, we offer as their interface in this by creating joint laboratories, joint programs that are in fact proving a very successful tool to speed up the flux of quantum into Italian industry. With large industries, some of them are part of the consortium, of course, but with other large industries, we found out that the important thing is continuing education services we can offer them, and the fact that, as I said before, we have hired a couple of hundred young scientists that are now available to strengthen the quantum technology activities of Italian companies. We were born with a certain size, but have been emphasizing the fact that we want to be the reference point for all the European community and international community to contact the Italian competence. So we have started a plan of enlarging our consortium to incorporate all the available competence in the country. We had some open calls where we selected other laboratories to become part of the consortium and make it a really pervasive structure. This is the state of the art where we are distributed. The red circle means simply administrative center, which is, for practical reasons, of course, in Rome. But as you can see, we are throughout the country with our partner companies, partner research centers, and this is, as of now, counting about 600 scientists working within the consortium directly. So it is a relatively large initiative now that we make available for collaborations to everybody. This is updated in Italian, in March 2025. It's slightly bigger now because the system is still evolving. A very important thing that we have done recently, and I want to emphasize that, is that based on the experience of the 2 years, on the competence that we have put together, on the investments that we have made, we have been able to identify some quantum fabs and fund some quantum fabs. I mean, reference centers where all the national community and international community can go to find specific types of competences. Devices, their characterization, materials, their characterization, new architectures, their implementation. And we have, therefore, created platforms for the different technology that we have used. We have included in our scope both atomic platforms, photonic platform, and solid-state platforms, identified 3 reference centers that will not be a surprise to the ones of the community because we have simply recognized where they are and supported their growth by dedicated funding, and then other centers for more of the design of the system and the technology transfer. This is their location, so we have a superconducting quantum fab in between Naples and Salerno. In there, at this point in time, we are putting together a quantum computer, superconductor-based, of course, and most importantly, a quantum channel between the two machines, the one in Sarello and the one in Naples, which is an important test bed for our technology. Atomic quantum fab is in Florence, not surprisingly. Semiconductor quantum fab and hybrid semiconductor quantum fab is in Pisa, and the photonic is between Trento and Milan. We have also the industrial hub where our main companies are located for the technology transfer. I was saying the support we have for our industries and the market analysis we did for them. This is an important aspect. Italy may be an ambitious country, but it's a small country, so we have to realistically make some choices here and help our government make choices. This is part of what went into the Italian strategy that was supposed to be presented here, but unfortunately for personal reasons, it was not possible to have here the speaker, and at the same time it was not possible to have an online presentation, so we had to just cancel it. But we did an extensive study on the different applications we have in mind. As I said before, the consortium has the ambition to be the repository of information and competence on all the main directions of the applications of quantum technology, sensing, communication, architectures, everything. We try to collect all the competence available and strengthen it. But we have to be realistic on what can really go into industry. This is a very schematic assessment that we offered to the Italian companies and shared, in fact, with Italian companies. And you see, we have found many areas in which the relevance is high. And that is very important. Things are happening while we speak in the context of defense, and I must add, maybe unfortunately, that make obviously this very significant. We have research going on in that direction in different labs, which is now increasingly in contact with the Italian companies operating in the field. There's a lot going on and happening in terms of energy and agriculture. We submitted a couple of important programs in this direction lately. Finance and banking, that is pretty obvious. I found obvious applications of quantum computation and of precision time measurement, as you know very well. Computer science, that's where we find the relevance for Italian companies is medium, which does not mean that the field is not relevant. It's very important, and we are actively trying to contribute to this. But that is our assessment in terms of the ability of the Italian system to be competitive in this area. Healthcare, very high point and very important point. There are important diagnostics company and pharmaceutical companies that are in line with us in this direction. And of course, telecommunications, where we ourselves want to play a role directly. What happens now? What happens now is that we believe we have structured ourselves in the appropriate way to directly contribute to the Italian initiative in that sense. And we believe that the Italian initiative shouldn't be merely such, just an Italian initiative. And I must say, the strategic document that was approved by the Italian government is perfectly in line and consistent with the European scenario. So it is very natural for us to see a role for Italian research centers and companies within the European scenario. I will want to play this role here. One key thing, and then I'll conclude here, with my take-home message for you is, once again, one, we offer ourselves as the candidates not only to implement the Italian program, but as the interface to team with the Italian groups for the European strategy and for the strategy at the international level, thanks to the fact that we have all the relevant players within ourselves. And second thing, which is more national, but we are the National Quantum Science and Technology Institute, so we have to focus on that. We offer ourselves as the main candidate for the technology transfer to our companies. It's something that, as you probably know, is not one of the strong points of Italian research that often has a problem to translate into companies. Well, we want to play a specific role in this and hope that also through events like this, our companies, the one that we select and support, will be able to gain visibility and competitiveness around the globe. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for that talk. Thank you very much, Fabio, for that talk. We have one question from an audience member. And this question actually has three parts. First, how much has Italy spent on grants for quantum technology? How much has Italy invested in quantum technology more generally? And how do you expect these numbers to change between now and 2030?
Okay. If we look at this point in time, since we exist, let's say, so 23, 24, 25, these 2-3 years, a good reference point is how much the Italian government gave to NQSTI to carry out its activities. And there we're talking about 120 million euros for this period. This represents, strictly in terms of quantum science and technology, looking at what the public money was given by the Italian government, a little over a half of it. So we're talking about 250 million for this period, strictly public money on quantum science and technology. Overall, if we include other initiatives that are tangential to quantum science and technology, we can double that figure once again, and we get an assessment of what has been happening in this period. These are numbers that, for the size of the Italian research funding, etc., are sizable, are significant, are positive. So this was a good period, a significant acceleration for us as a general community. What's happening now? Okay, the Renew Europe, that in Italy is called Recovery Plan, is finishing. So that line of funding is going to dry up soon, but we see other things happening. So also at the Italian level, since the question was relative to Italy, we have had recent calls that again involved us in quantum and moved tens of millions of euros, so an order of magnitude less. But there's more happening in the next months, which is in the pipeline, and again is part of this Italian strategy. So my assessment is that after this sizable injection of funding that we have had in the last 2-3 years, we are going now towards a more stable and standard level of funding. Our bet is that the increased competitiveness of our research groups, thanks to the better equipment and the activities that were carried out in these years, will make us more competitive and able to obtain more funding internationally. And at some point, we are just starting to see that is the private funding from our companies will finally take off. It hasn't yet, but we hope it will.
Wonderful. All right, let's thank Fabio again.
Thank you very much.